Hey guys, this is Reed with Rapid Response Training, and I'm here with a gear video. And I don't really love doing gear videos, but people like them. They're easy to do, and I had a question about this one specifically. So here today, as you already know from the title, is the Special Operations Equipment, SOE, FUPA, which is their, it's like a fanny pack on steroids. So we'll talk about it. I'll talk about the fanny pack part first, and then we'll go over the rest. So for the fanny pack, it's got buckles on either side that attach to these webbing loops, and they are 1.5 inch buckles, I think. Let's find out together. I think you'd call that, well, maybe it's 1.75. That's like 1.75. So that's the buckle size. And yeah, it clips in both sides. And then one of the sides, obviously there's a tri-glide on here for adjustment. This adjusts like crazy, tons of adjustment. Arguably too big for most people, but I'm sure John would cut you a shorter strap, or you could even, I don't know, figure that out maybe if it was too big for you. I'm like 6 foot 190, and it doesn't, it's 5'11", 190, it doesn't bother me. So anyway, yeah, so it attaches here. These are both split bar buckles, so they can be removed, which is very cool. And I'll talk about the size now. So I'll try and make it not all like fluffy for you, but this is like an idea of how big it is it is approximately 7 inches tall. Approximately, yeah, it's about 7 inches tall. And then we'll do the width, try and make it not all fluffy, and it is about 10 inches wide. So that's about the size, and I'll go over that in a little bit. It has a big pocket, okay, on the inside that is Velcro lined on both sides, which is pretty neat. So I could put like an organizer or a zip pocket or something up in here. I could put a holster on the back part if I wanted to do that, something like that. So it also has tie down points in every corner, which is really, really nice. So I've got lots of tie down points for gear if I want to do, if I want to tie gear down, or I can rig this up with some shot cord and have this open out, because the zippers go all the way to the bottom, which is really nice. I can open it all the way up if I want to. Look at that, SOE, baby. I can open it all the way up, but I could rig up some paracord or shot cord to keep it open like a book, or I don't know what you would call that, open halfway like the admin style, which is pretty neat that I have the ability to do that if I want. So I think both of those give you a lot of flexibility and a lot of options as far as how I'm going to set this thing up and what I'm going to use it for. Then in the front, there's a slash pocket. So this has nothing, no Velcro, no tie downs. It's just flat open, but it's actually surprisingly big. So I'll go over that in a second. And then obviously we got our Velcro here, which is kind of nice because I can use that for like a Red Cross or whatever, if I'm going to use this for medical. Although it does make it a little bit more overt. So, you know, pros and cons. All right, so I'll talk about the fanny pack, since that's how, since that's primarily how I use it. I use this for carrying a gun around the house. So I have a small child. I can't leave guns laying around, but I do want to have them accessible in case, you know, I were to need them. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, 100% of home invasions happen at home. So I don't always want to be wearing my inside the waistband holster around the house, although a lot of times I do. But, you know, sometimes you wake up in the morning, you're walking around in basketball shorts or sweatpants, and that's not really the vibe, right? That's not really what you want to be doing. So this is great for that. All my guns are locked up in a safe, and I have one accessible on my body that he cannot access because it's on me. So got some, you know, security and accessibility combined with some comfort, which I love that. So I wear this every single day pretty much. Not all day, but every single day, like around the house. And it works great for that, or like, you know, if you're going to the beach or something like that, something where you want a fanny pack, carrying a gun is pretty great. So because of this Velcro, I can attach a holster in here and make it much more usable as like a fighting implement, right? Like a fighting holster. So I don't have that currently. My system right now is to just take my holster and chunk it in the bag, the gun inside the holster, right? That way, if I want to take the gun out and put it in my pants, I can do that. Or, oh, new holster, by the way, I'll have a video on this coming. And like the trigger guard's protected and all that good stuff. So that's my current system. I used to have a holster attached inside of this bag, but once I added the optic, it became a little bit more, didn't fit quite as good. So I'll go over gun fitment in just a second. So anyhow, so there's that. I'll show you how sometimes I might load it up. Let's say, here's a hypothetical, is I need to go somewhere where I cannot carry a gun. Not that I shouldn't, that like I can't. Like there's metal detectors, they pat you down, things of that nature, but I want to be protected to and from, even though I got to disarm for this specific thing, right? So sometimes I will pack this up, carry this in the car to wherever I'm going, then I stash it and lock it appropriately, so to prevent theft, and go about my business. When I come back, clip this back on, I'm back rearmed. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take my gun, put it in there with the holster, right? Zip it up, and then in this slash pocket works really well. I can take like my wallet, so like my ID, my permit, things of that nature, stick that in there in the slash pocket. A magazine, right? And stick that in there. So I've got a reload, and usually I'll put that like in the corner, right? Being held upright. And then I'll also throw a tourniquet in here as well. So this actually works better with like a cat tourniquet, because when you fold it, when you fold it and stage it, they're a little shorter, but you can see it does fit with this soft T wide that's really flat and long. And there we go. So I got some bare minimum medical. I have a gun, I've got a reload, and I've got my wallet with my ID, and I can throw this on and go do whatever I need to do. Obviously it's not optimal, but I have everything I need, right? So I can even like clip my keys to one of these loops or one of the zippers, and it works great. Like this is also a great beach thing. Like if I'm going to the beach, carry this, and then like if I'm gonna go in the water, unclip it, hand it to another like responsible adult to watch, because I'm not gonna leave this unattended. Go in the water, do whatever I'm doing, come back, clip back on, boom, easy day, still have everything I need. So at the beach, usually I'm carrying a specific like tourniquet as well, like in my shorts. I've usually got like a knife in my shorts. I mean, shoot, sometimes I'm carrying a gun in the water. It just depends. Yes, you can do that. Just, you know, maintain your gear. Don't be stupid. So that's pretty cool. And that gives you an idea of like the size of the slash pocket. So I'll talk about now the size of the interior pocket when it comes to carrying guns. So this is a Glock 19 with a aim-point acro, okay? And as you can see, this basically fills up the entire pocket. So, oh, there we go. Now I'm talking to the camera. So this basically fills up the entire pocket. It is when I did not have an optic, I was able to Velcro a holster in here at a slight angle in order to facilitate a good draw. Now that it has the optic, I can't really do that. It only really fits in here like straight horizontally, right? So, you know, some negatives and positives, I suppose. But that gives you an idea for the sizing of this. It fits about perfect with a Glock 19. Once you put an optic on it, it doesn't fit quite so perfect anymore, but it does fit. You're not like trying to put 5 pounds of crap in a 2.5 pound bag. I messed that up, but I saved it halfway through, I think. So anyway, here's another example I'll show. Here is a Glock 45 with no optics. So just regular Glock 45, okay? And you can see that full-size grip. Again, even though I don't have the optics, because of this, I can kind of fit it at an angle, but it's going to be a little bit tight in there if I wanted to draw it out at an angle the proper way. Now, of course, I can mount it horizontally. It's just a little bit goofier of a draw. It's just something that you're going to have to practice. I recommend you doing dry practice with this setup, because like this is already a bad day, so you don't want to be fumbling. And then just because I have one here, I'll mention it. Here's a Smith & Wesson Shield. So obviously you can see this one, I could even probably carry straight up vertical up and down if I wanted to do that. I can carry it at an angle. So something like a 43X or 48 or something like that. Well, 48 is basically 19, but like a 43X or a Shield or 365, something like that, it's going to fit in here really, really well. It will give you a lot of adjustment and room to play with it, where a Glock 19, like iron-sighted Glock 19, that's about as big as you would want to go in here. I don't think you would want to put, like I showed you with that 45, I don't think you would want to put a full-size gun in here probably. There is one upgrade that I would like to make to this, and I'm going to see if I can't figure out a way to do that soon, which is take a piece of paracord and tie it to one of these tie down points in here and make a loop. And then when I put my holster in here, I can loop it either through the clips, or for this holster it'd have to be through the clips. The cool thing about NSR is they've got a hole right here. So I can have a little paracord loop attached to this when I'm putting it in my pants. No factor. I'm not even going to know it's there. But when I put it in the bag, I can clip it into one of these tie down points, and that way when I go pull the gun out of this holster, the holster doesn't come with it. I don't have to worry about taking the gun off, the holster off the gun, which is what I would have to do now with something like this. So that's a way that can make this a little bit better for like a dedicated concealed carry rig. I don't prefer this for a dedicated concealed carry rig because it's a little bit overt, right? Like fanny packs in general, if it's like unless you're really doing like a hippie cosplay, typically if you're a dude carrying a fanny pack, other dudes are like, there's a gun in there, right? So it's a little bit overt, especially with this Velcro patch. Like if I wanted to be a little bit more sneaky, I might like use a seam ripper and take this off. But anyway, this is not what I'm carrying if I want ultra concealment anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. If you're like, I want to be super, super sneaky, honestly, you probably want a non-gun type fanny pack. You probably want like a Lululemon fanny pack. Shout out to your boy. You know who you are. Carrying a Lululemon fanny pack everywhere, and you know, everybody's like, he's gay. Like, he has a gun in there. So very gray man. So anyway, there's the fanny pack part, and I think I beat that horse to death. So I'll cover some of the other stuff that makes this really, really versatile and cool. All right, so one of the things that makes this very, very cool is all these buckles around here are split bar repair buckles. So they are removable. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. Hopefully you can see that, right? So they just come off that little tab, and then this basically folds away into nothing out of your way. And I can do that on the other side. So some of these are easier than others. Usually I recommend having a multi-tool with you, and I can demonstrate that in a second. But so there, the waist strap is removed, and now I've just got the bag. And you're like, what are you gonna do with this? Well, check it out. So you can see the back is all Velcro, and I'm about to show you why. This is a panel. So this has loop Velcro on the front. It's the back when it's folded down facing you, but on the front, and hook on the back. So I can use this as a dangler. So on a chest rig or a plate carrier, I can take the straps off and unfold this panel and use it as a dangler. So I think that's dope. It's like an extra dangler, right? I think it's a very good size for a medical kit, or if you had big bulky things, like you could fit a bunch of, like, I don't know, you could fit 4 or 5 40 millimeter rounds in here probably. Or, I mean, shoot, you could fit a relatively large size pair of binoculars in here. That wouldn't really be for a dangler. I'm trying to think what else you might put in here. Medical, 40 mil. Yeah, I don't know what else you'd put in a dangler, like whatever it is that you feel like doing, but it's pretty big. So on a plate carrier, I like a little bit smaller dangler, but on a chest rig, I kind of don't mind a bigger one. So I think that's really cool. I had initially thought that, like, oh, this will be my, you know, I can use this EDC like around the house, and then if something ever happens, I can, you know, press it in service as a dangler. Well, that wasn't really the bright idea that I thought I had, because it's not like immediately ready to go, right? So I don't like that. For chest rigs and plate carriers, I want to have something immediately ready to go. I'm not like, what happens if I forget this or whatever? I just don't like that. So but it's cool if you did want to use it deliberately for that. And then if you needed a fanny pack, then you take it off and make it into a fanny pack or whatever. Or you just, I mean, I think this is a great dangler just on its own. Even if you wanted to, like, put these straps in a drawer and forget about them. So great dangler. I've used it like that before in a couple different classes, specifically on the Thing 2 Spiritus chest rig, which I have a video on. You guys can go watch that. It's attached and mentioned. So anyway, yeah, it works as a dangler. It's very cool. So I will talk about the next thing it can do, because it's one more. All right, so the next thing this can do is this can be worn as a chest pack. So I have 1-inch webbing loops on the top and on the, I guess, top right and left, and then on the side bottom right and left. So it also comes with 1-inch straps with repair buckles to make this into a chest pack. So it's really dope, and I will demo how to do one of these on camera. The other one I'll do off camera, but so you can see how it works and how easy or difficult it is. Here's my split bar repair buckle. I'll start smashing this loop of webbing onto the repair buckle. And like I said, some of these are easier than others. You saw how easy it was for me to get off the 1.75-inch buckles on the sides, the waist strap. This is a little bit more difficult. So you can see I've got that, like, I don't know. Oh, maybe I'm gonna get it without a Leatherman at all. Look at that, bam, I did it. So there we go, there's one, and I'm gonna make an X with this. So if it's on the top right, this is going to the bottom left, okay? And I'm just gonna repeat that process over here. There we go, you guys can see. So just trying to smash this down into that. Man, that first one honestly was pretty easy. Maybe I'll get the second one without a Leatherman as well. Probably have to have it to take it off, we'll see. Almost. There we go, look at that. All right, so there's one, top right and bottom left, and then I'll turn the camera off. I'll do the other one off camera. It's gonna go top left to bottom right, and then I'll demonstrate the chest pack. All right, there we go. It did go faster with the Leatherman, so word for the wise. There you go. So I'll demonstrate this here. The best way to put this on, I feel really dumb for not learning this before, is to take this with the straps in front and just loop one strap over your arm and your head, and then you just take the other strap and loop it on over your arm and your head. So there we go. And I'll turn around and show you the back of this so you can see how the harness lies. But there's how the front of it, rides with it up over here. These are really narrow straps. You probably would not want to put a whole bunch of weight in them in here. But the X harness is surprisingly good. So X harness, there we go. It's gonna cross in the back. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so there's how the X harness works. And then to take it off, whichever strap is on top, I'm just gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna pull it off that way and vice versa. Or because these are on Fast X buckles, which are really convenient, I don't even have to do that if I don't want to. I can just pop the buckles and escape from it that way. So, and again, just make sure you're going top right to bottom left and top left to bottom right, vice versa. All right, so you're like, hey Reed, why would I want a chest pack? To me, the major answer is if I'm wearing a big rucksack with a waist belt, I want a chest pack to carry that gun instead of putting it in my pants. Honestly, generally hiking in general, inside the waistband kind of sucks. If you're really, really used to it and you've got very good equipment, you've got it dialed in, super doable. I do it all the time, but I think a lot of people would probably struggle doing like a really, really long ways with your regular inside the waistband rig. Yeah, so, but anyway, that's what I've used this for in the past. Boom, gun, no problem. And then I've even got this front slash pocket. I can throw like some liquid IV. I can throw some, like a Cliff Bar, compass, anything that I need to get to, like map. So anything I need to get to in a hurry, and I don't want to like have in my pockets. I don't want to have to take off in my backpack, my rucksack. I can put in this little slash pocket, or like I can set it up more like a gun specific thing where I've got a magazine, a tourniquet. So this is like my emergency, like defensive kit, right? So I could set it up that way too if I didn't want to like have more like hiking stuff in here. So anyway, pretty cool. And then also here's something that I don't think John Willis intended when he designed this, but because of these buckles, I can take these off. I can take one of these buckles off and just take one strap, and I can wear this like a fanny pack. Again, not what it's intended to do. The fanny pack strap is better for that, but like if I'm going hiking, I don't want to carry a bunch of straps, right? Like I don't need that. I want to leave it alone. This is just for like walking around camp or something like that. So I've used this before and found it worked really, really well. So anyway, yeah, so there you go. SOE, FUPA, I think this is the Dangler. Maybe they're all Danglers now, but It's a excellent fanny pack for kind of general purpose around the house, everyday carry. But it's a great dangler and chest pack as well. It does it all, and it's very reasonable. So I highly recommend getting one of these. I think they work great. And there you go. Special operations equipment, check him out. John's a good dude. He builds great stuff. That's another thing about this. It's totally like bomb proof, which honestly, for a lot of stuff, I don't use it that hard, just to be honest with you. Like, even in a small unit tactics class or something like that, I'm not like, stuff isn't getting like totally ripped on or whatever. This does. Like, when you've got this on your chest, like you're resting your arms on it or whatever, or like your fanny pack, your kid's like climbing on it, or yeah, I feel like this is definitely one of the harder use pieces of equipment I have, and so I really like how indestructible it is. If I have one criticism, it's that a lot of these like strings come out, and I've got to like constantly like clip and burn them. It's kind of annoying, and mostly it's just annoying, although when it's on the inside it does worry me, since I've got a gun in here and I do have it in a holster, but still I just don't like it. Usually that's not a problem, but in this case you can see one of the seams totally pulled out, right? So I've got it burned here to stop it, burned on both sides to stop it from doing more. So I don't love that, but everything John builds is like, he overdoes everything. So there's like 3 sets of stitching in all of this. So like, even if you lose one entire one, like you've got 2 more. So I mean, by the time I destroy this, like, it will have more than paid for itself, basically. So yeah. Oh, I'll talk about zippers real quick. So these are before I forget, these are very, very high quality. Like, I'm assuming they're YKK zippers, unless there's another one that's even better that John uses. I don't see a brand on them, but they've got some 550 cord ties on them. I think these are good. If this was like a dedicated concealed carry thing, I might make one of these like big, giant. I might put some tape on it, right? Like, boom, like make it very, very easy. Because it's not rigid, it's a little bit hard to turn this corner when you're wearing it. I guess that's not a great example. Here, I'll hold it by the straps. So I don't know, maybe it feels like it's not that easy to pull the corner. So figuring out like where you're gonna stage your zippers, I think, is important. And so like, I try and keep them one on the front side of the optic, like almost splitting the optic, because when I pull the gun out, I don't want the half closed part to interfere with the draw, right? So if my optic is like right here, I'll center the zippers over that, so I can just grab the one, rip it, and pull it to the side and draw the gun out that way. Whereas if I, of course, had the zippers over here, now I've got to grab both to go for it. It's just not ideal. So stage your zippers, guys, and then usually the other thing I'll do is, however I've got my zippers staged, I'll stage the other ones to the other side, right? So if this is the gun zipper, it's right here. I don't want to mistakenly grab these thinking it's the gun zipper, so I'll put these on the other side. And then vice versa, if I had this one staged over here, I go ahead and put the zippers on this side. So oh, and they're both double zippers, which is, it's awesome. Sorry, diesel driving by. So anyway, there you go, guys. SOE FUPA Dangler. I think it works great if you need something for some sort of a fanny pack, if you need a chest pack, if you need a dangler. Honestly, very rare where one piece of gear does all these things well. So highly recommend. One of the best, this and the belt, SOE belt, are the 2 pieces of gear I use more than anything else in the world from SOE. Highly recommend. Go get it, or whatever. Don't be weird.